Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Ask Jarrett Law podcast. Was not planning on talking about LLCs anytime soon, but an attorney connection of mine on LinkedIn posted about his client having their personal assets seized, even though the LLC was being sued. And that is possible. That's something called piercing the corporate veil. And I can go more to depth on what that is and how you prevent that from happening in probably the next podcast. But just for right now, let's talk about how to properly form your LLC in Ohio. And just for clarity, this is on a state-by-state basis. LLCs are, you have to file them in each state. So this is only Ohio. There's no way to form a federal LLC. It is state by state. So you have to file it in every state that you want to do business in. But I'm based in Ohio, so we're going to go through the Ohio process. So we're starting on the Ohio Secretary of State website. It's ohiosos.gov. And then you can click businesses. That's on the top right corner, not the topmost corner, but there's a little a line that says home, Secretary LaRose in the office, elections and voting, etc., etc. And it's towards the right. So you hit businesses. Then you scroll down, and in the top left corner, you're going to hit file online, and then you're going to hit submit a business filing and go through that process. I'm not going to go through that right now, but it's pretty straightforward. You kind of fill it out as you go, right? And once you do that and you pay the filing fee, usually I tell my clients don't pay for the expedited filing, just pay the normal $99, and you should have your business filed within a day or two, at least in my experience. I'm not going to say that that's always the case, but for me, I would file it on a business day, and by the next business day, my LLC would be formed. So when you file with the state, you're, filing with the state, so it's filed with Ohio, and that automatically includes the articles of organization. So it'll kind of take you through creating your articles of organization. That is a part of properly forming an LLC. And you don't have to do this all in order, and they will, when you submit your LLC filing on this website, they will give you a little list that you can follow. But just based on my knowledge as an attorney and also what this attorney connection of mine said about his client, I did want to go through a few things that I think are really important to, have a properly formed LLC and also just protect yourself from liability. Again, I will go more into depth on, everything you have to do to have a properly formed LLC that avoids that liability or that piercing of the corporate veil, but just want to give a very quick rundown of, the very, very basics. So after you have filed with the state and automatically including your articles of organization in that, you're going to set up an operating agreement. Now, typically an attorney will do this. When I offer clients the service of filing an LLC, I do their operating agreement for them. So I will go through that whole website process, right? And I will file your articles of organization and check your business name, make sure there's no other businesses with that name in the state, and then I'll do the whole process for you. And then I will also include the operating agreement in my services, and you can find my services on askjarrettlaw.card with 2 R's, so CARRD.co. And you can also find me on Facebook. It's Ask Jarrett Law LLC. And then my Instagram is Ask Jarrett Law. If you want to email me, it's askjarrettlawllc@gmail.com. And, but yeah, so you can find all the pricing on my website as well as my Facebook, and you can access my website through my Instagram or Facebook. And then if you want me to do this, just send me an email. But so I include that in my flat fee for filing an LLC. And then that does not include the state filing fee, but I do have that on my website. It's the flat fee plus the $99 filing fee or whatever filing fee you choose, whether it's expedited or not. So, so an attorney will typically create that operating agreement for you. Again, I do create those at my law firm in addition to filing LLCs for my clients. So next, what you're going to want to do, which I do not do because I do not get involved in banking, you're going to want to set up a separate bank account. And there's more that goes into this to protect yourself from liability. Again, that will be in the next episode. But just like the first thing that you want to do when you're setting up your LLC is setting up a separate bank account, okay? Not your personal. It needs to be, for instance, I have one under Ashley Jarrett, and then I have one for Ash Jarrett Law LLC. So I have two separate bank accounts, okay? And again, there's more details that I need to go into, but I will save those for the next episode. So the final thing that you're going to want to do, which is really stupid if you are, a single member LLC like I am, and a couple of my clients are as well and did not understand this whatsoever, is having an annual meeting. So if you have multiple members, obviously you're going to want to have that annual meeting and keep track of all the decisions you make at that time and what you talk about at that meeting. If you're a single member LLC like I am, you're just going to sit down and you're going to write out, I made this decision ratified by me, which again, I know sounds really stupid, but you have to do it to have that properly formed LLC and protect yourself against liability, which again, we need to go more in depth about in the next episode. But those are the basic requirements. Tried not to read from my law school outlines too much, or really at all. I tried to get it really simple, and just the biggest points that I think people need to properly form an LLC in Ohio. So I hope this was informative. I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate you listening.